ALG really saved me. I put all of my success on joining this group. People constantly checking in saved me.
I made so many friends with people that I've never met, but I feel incredibly close to, and I consider them family.
It really is a family. It is a place where you can just be yourself and there is no judgment. There is no shame. You are so welcome there.
Nobody has to be in this alone. Everybody is either going through or has gone through the same thing at one point.
Let's do this.
Welcome back to the ALG podcast. I want to thank you guys for joining us today. Really quick, at the top of the show, I want to ask you all if you could please do me and David a solid and rate and review this wherever you're listening. Those rates and reviews, they really go a long way. We're really not the type to ask, but you know what? We figured we could ask today. So please go out, go rate and review. And now we're on to today's show. Da-na-na-na-na. All right, cool. So I don't have music besides at the opening of the show, so I made my own. Today, we're joined by a very special guest. He's the man who has created the brand new intro and outro music to the podcast. You may know him as Gut Muscle CEO. I know him as Anthony Changes. And of course, I'm joined alongside by my partner in crime, Fit_D-Rock, David Roden.
Yeah, I feel like I can bust through a wall right now. This is not a plug. I'm not getting paid for this, but I'm on Alpha Brain right now, and I feel like I could feel my skin growing. So
He feels like he can feel his brain, ladies and gentlemen.
My brain is moving right now. I can feel it.
So today's episode, ladies and gents, is going to be a little bit different than what you guys are accustomed to. You know, approaching this episode, I thought it would be cool to have someone on who's really in the midst of the journey. You know, he's out here, he's grinding, he's staying accountable, he's doing some amazing things on Instagram, making some awesome connections. So I figured, what the hell? You know, I'm tired of having people that lost 240 something pounds, people that
Make me feel bad.
And yeah, I'm really about David's feelings. You know, he took me to the side and was like, you know what, John? Every time we have one of these guests on, I just feel so not worth it. No, I'm kidding. I'm totally kidding. But Anthony, what's going on, brother?
What's going on, fellas? I mean, if you add up all the weight that I've gained and lost, yeah, it's probably around 240. You know what I mean? That's
I like
pulling the roller coaster. I'm intrigued to hear this.
I like that. So, Anthony, why don't you give us just a rundown of who you are and what you're doing for those at home that don't know who you are?
All right. So like the majority of the people that I've heard on different episodes, I grew up as the fat kid. That's not uncommon to most of our stories. So with that being said, that comes along with having a great personality. You know what I mean? Like, you got to be the clown.
Except for this guy. I'm an asshole. I'm just an asshole.
They forgot his in the womb. It happens.
Yeah, I think along with the beard too, but I could be wrong.
Oh,
Right.
hey, quit that shit. This is offensive.
Yeah, no beard shaming. My bad. So I mean, like, along with being overweight as a kid, you know, that comes with a lot of mental health struggles. So I'm the youngest of 3 boys, so I'm mama's baby. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
So she was always really overprotective, and both of my older brothers are kind of like opposite of me.
Okay.
The oldest one is like super skinny. The middle one is really athletic and super competitive. So like, that made playing sports for me as a kid super tough and just not fun. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't enjoy it because they were so much better at it than I was. And I remember like in 4th grade being like 150 pounds and wanting to try out for the local Pop Warner League, and them telling me and telling my parents like, he is gonna have to play with the 13, 14, 15-year-old kids.
Right.
Yep.
He's gonna get crushed out here. It's probably not a good look for him. And that didn't work out. So I ended up playing baseball for like a year or 2. Didn't really enjoy that because, you know, who wants to be in the outfield? Who wants to run when they're overweight?
Right.
And then yeah, that was when in middle school I started smoking weed, which kind of opened up the way to normalizing eating junk food with all your friends. You know what I
Hell
mean?
yeah.
I was like, all right,
Fuck yeah.
I feel comfortable being fat doing this with you guys.
Yeah.
I totally want to smoke weed, you know? So, but one thing
It wasn't the peer pressure, Mom. It was the Doritos at the end.
It was the Doritos. They were
Liberty Capri Suns? What do you mean? Like, I could use the same straw. I'm saving the planet. You know what I mean?
I gotta ask. I'm intrigued. Where are you from?
Born and raised down here, South Florida.
South Florida. Okay. See, I'm gonna be a little. What do you? I don't. Whatever the term is gonna be. I thought as soon as you said smoking weed in middle school, I'm like, okay, you're from SoCal. Like I just saw you're from Southern California. Like that was just my thought process.
Man, I've been smoking weed since the 8th grade. And I ain't never stopped. But no, I feel that, and I feel it on a personal level. We've talked about it a lot on this podcast, but when you are the fat kid, you have a responsibility to the friend group. Okay, right. You own a very pivotal role. If you are not out here making people laugh, holding emotions in the palm of your hand, well, there's like 25 other fat kids in the grade that we could replace you with. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to hold your own. It's a struggle out here.
Actually, this is a dead ass question. This is a serious question for all you guys.
There's only 3 of us in here.
Have you ever met like a boring fat person?
No.
Yes.
No.
Yeah, I have.
They're a special type of person. You know what I mean? Like,
I think
maybe they're not just fat. People are gonna hate me after this episode.
Oh my gosh. All right, we're back.
We'll get to this one.
Okay, so 8th grade. So 8th grade, you were smoking the ganj, you were eating too much food.
Yeah.
Keep going.
It blew up from there, but like a lot of that also has to deal with like the mental health aspect of it. So like John was just talking about, like you have to be that special fat friend, you know what I mean? That want around, you know what I mean? So like I feel like I put a lot of my self-worth into the hands of others, in the sense that if I can make them laugh, then they want to keep me around. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, even if I'm making myself the butt of the jokes, it makes it easier for me to deal with it than if someone else is making me the center of attention because they're fucking roasting me. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So when you couple that toxic way of thinking, where I have to demean myself in order to make people want me to be around, when you couple that with like knowing you're different as far as sexuality is concerned, you open up a wormhole of a clusterfuck of shit going on in my brain. You know what I mean? So it's like, on one hand, I know like I'm different, but I hear the way everybody else is talking about what's different about me, even if they don't know. You know what I mean? So it's like,
So not only were you dealing with the weight struggle, you're also dealing with being like understanding your own sexuality, or at this point you understand your own sexuality and it's just you're keeping it from the world.
That second part, you know what I mean? So it's like I'm aware of it. I'm trying to fight it and trying to combat it and figure it all out on top of all that. You know what I mean? So it's like, I know I'm different, but I don't know how to express it because clearly it's not acceptable. So, that just kind of opened up a whole whirlwind. And I remember like getting diagnosed with gynecomastia at like 11 or 12. You know what I mean? So shirts not coming off at the pool. Going to the
pool. Question for that. I'm intrigued. Gynecomastia on the sense that you were like, you actually have you were just because you were that fat, or because like you actually have gynecomastia on like a normal occasion? You know what I'm saying?
Gynecomastia on a
Okay, got you.
Be there whether I lose the weight or not.
Gotcha. Because like it's like I had gynecomastia too, but I was just because I was fat as shit, not because I had gynecomastia. I got you.
Yeah, so it was a lot to deal with. You know what I mean? And that, like, you get the normal teasing from your friends and family and shit like that, but it's like, while it's easy to laugh it off in public, I have to go home and I have to go to sleep and deal with that on my own. You know what I mean? And
so can I ask you a question, Anthony? At this point in your journey where you're talking about right now, besides you, obviously, who else knows this secret about you?
Now at this point, everybody.
No, not now, today, then.
At that part in the journey, fucking no one. Absolutely no one.
Nobody. So you're holding that in, right? Now, I can't speak from experience on this. I can't even imagine what that's like, having to deal with a weight issue and fitting in on that spectrum, and then having to deal with not being able to tell people who you really are. Like, one, kudos to you, right? Like, let's get that out of the way. Like, fucking hats off to you, man. But secondly, the mental fuckage, right? Because I don't even have a word that I could put on it. The mental fuckage that you had to be dealing with, dude, like,
heavy,
bro.
Heavy.
I wish everyone in the world could feel exactly what I'm feeling right now talking about this, because this whole weight has just come over me, and I'm just like, man, I know what I was dealing with back then, but I can't even put myself in your shoes, you
Mhm.
know? Dude, that's strength, like I'm sure that during that time, you were channeling your emotions into food, right? Because as a fat kid, what else are we going to do? But
1000.
but the fact that you're able to sit here and have this conversation right now, and look back, like seriously look back and see that journey. That's fuck, like, dude, thank you. Like, that's awesome, man. Like, seriously, thank you. I'm really choking up on this end.
Yeah, I mean, I told myself I was gonna try my hardest not to get like emotional about it. I mean, if it happens, it happens. But like, I know for sure that music saved my life,
Mhm.
and creativity, like having that when I felt like no one else was around. Like it's a feeling that I can't describe. So when I talk to people and I ask them like, what are you passionate about? And like they're like, nothing. Like I know for a fact my life would be over if I didn't have music to be passionate about. And like writing in general. You mean like I'll journal, I'll write skits down, I'll write any idea that comes to my head. I like the physical act of writing, but music is what helped me get what was bottled up inside out, even if I wasn't specifically speaking on what was troubling me deep inside. Like
Right.
having music, that shit really saved my life. And I remember a couple of episodes ago, I forgot who it was, you guys were talking about like the diet pills and Stacker 2
Mhm.
so like in 2005 I tried to take my own life by taking a bunch of Stacker 2s because like
Really?
yeah. I knew there was a lot of other shit that I probably won't get into, but in 2005, there was I had a bottle of Stacker 2s, and life had just gotten like too much for me to handle, and because I was holding everything in, and I didn't know how to maneuver around what I was experiencing. I didn't know how to admit who I was. So anyway, I had the bottle of Stacker 2s, and I knew how they made my fucking heart race. So I figured if I took enough of them, I'll be
Yeah.
up for the count. So
Mhm.
going into the bathroom where they were at and coming back into my room and I swallowed like 5 or 6 of them, and then I was like I really want this to be over with, so I chewed like another 3 or 4 of them, and that made me puke. You know what I mean? So like those 3 that I'd already swallowed and what I was trying to take on top of that, like it all came back up. And I remember like the next 2 weeks after that, I was absolutely miserable because now I'm feeling like I can't even fucking take my own life right. I mean, like, I can't. What am I doing on this fucking planet? And then it took a while for me to realize like you're here for a fucking reason. Like
Yeah.
you gotta own this. You mean like whatever it is, you're still walking and breathing, which means you have another chance to get this fucking right.
It's fascinating because like it's
I have no
this,
words.
I gotta this is gonna be a different episode, I can tell. So I had a very similar experience. So when I was 18, 400 plus pounds, and like I felt trapped. Obviously my trappedness was my body, like, and it's ironic because like again this was so fascinating is no we can always trick our brain to making ourselves look like our life is worse than it is. And flip of the coin, we can always trick our brain into thinking that the world is better than what it is. And it's fascinating because Anthony, if you don't know my dad being a doctor, my mom's a stay-at-home mom. I grew up in a 7,000 square foot house with everything you'd ask for, all the friends, all the everything. And I remember when I was 18 being so trapped in my body that like feeling like such a failure. I almost ended my own life as well. Mine was a whole different bag of worms. I was in my private custom shower marble in the shower, and it was just, now I never acted upon it, but it was just like that feeling. But it is fascinating because like how doesn't matter what experiences you have or hadn't have, you can still get to a very dark place. It's just fascinating because like comparing your story of not being able to convey your sexuality, being stuck in these different things and getting to that dark place. And then me, I'm not saying I was blessed, but let's be honest here. I was blessed with my upbringing and I still put myself into a very dark corner. And it's just fascinating. I find it fascinating that no matter what background experience you can have people that just thrive and do crazy transformations, and people that get into dark places really quick. And it humbles me where you can see people in the same experience have two completely different outcomes, and you're just like, holy shit. It's just fascinating. I just find it fascinating.
Mental health does not give a fuck about your circumstances.
No.
It doesn't care about your upbringing. It doesn't care about how much money you make. If your mental health is suffering, it's going to suffer no matter what environment you're in.
You're damn fucking right. It is.
And
You're damn right.
that's
All right. I got to pivot the emotion completely for a second, because I'm going off of Anthony's previous statement, which I think is so fun, because this is one of my favorite things to do. So when people hit me up on social media and they say they're depressed, they're overweight, they're stuck, all this kind of stuff, and they're like asking for help, you know, the first thing I ask them,
What's that?
what are you passionate about? And they're just like, what do you mean? What am I passionate about? I ask for help. I'm helping you. What are you passionate about? And just getting them to just pivot to something that they enjoy just for a hot second, it raises their emotions. And all of a sudden, like when you ask the deeper questions, it's a whole different dynamic, because now they've put themselves in like this passionate feeling before they ask those deep, dark questions. And it's one of my favorite things to do with people, because you can, even in person or through this phone, it's always the same response, which is like, they ask you for help, and then you throw them a curveball by going, well, what are you passionate about?
ready to pour out my soul. What do I like to do? Is this
Exactly.
what is going on, David?
Exactly. So actually that actually brings me to what I wanted to say, which is what brought you to your passion of music? Yeah.
Oh, that's okay. So the quick answer is, well, my mom growing up worked as a manager at Camelot Music,
Okay.
constantly bringing home different like store tapes that they would play in the stores, you know. So I would get like everything from Prince to Mariah Carey to Whitney Houston,
Some of my favorites.
you know what I mean? So like she would come over to just everything you could think of, everything
Right.
done. And then I remember growing up, it's just gonna sound cliche as fuck, but whatever, like reading Dr. Seuss and like enjoying how much things can rhyme, you know what I mean? So like it just kind of stemmed from those two things. And then my dad's also really into music too. He's, you know, had his own bands and whatnot, all Spanish music, but so like it all kind of worked together. So between my love of writing, like the physical act of writing, the music background from my parents, and then like having an affinity for having words come together and rhyme, it just blossomed from there. And like it was something that I didn't have to go outside to do, you know what I mean? So I wasn't good
Right.
at, you know, shooting basketball, or I could throw the football, but I wasn't fucking great at it, you know.
Right.
So I was like, I don't have to compete with my brothers in that aspect. I can just go and do this creative shit that I thoroughly enjoy, and
Mhm.
just be in my room by myself. I don't need anybody for this. It was
Right.
beautiful. So that kind of fueled the depression as well. So while I can say that music saved my life, it also contributed to depression that I felt, in the sense that, like, you know, especially with hip hop, like that was just anti-gay for the longest. I mean,
Mhm.
it's leaps and bounds ahead of where it was before, which is great. But at least in my era, it was like, damn, I feel like I have to choose, because like this makes me really fucking happy. Like I thoroughly enjoy doing this, but I also know that this is who I am.
Right.
Now I'm here at a fork in the road, and it's like every couple of years I would shift. I was like, okay, well, I'm going to go this way because I know this is who I am. But then like, damn, I miss doing music. So let me pivot back and go this way. So all my life I've been, you know, zigzagging down this yellow brick road and never really focusing on what makes me happy. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
Oh yeah.
I had to choose. That was tough.
So where was that clarity moment for you? Where was that aha?
The most recent, what drove me to finally come out was realizing that I was repeating the same behaviors over and over. So like having that open, honest conversation with myself. You know, I had seen therapists before and whatnot, and you know, it brought me a lot of peace, which is good. But you know, I was constantly dating women, knowing like deep down inside, I know it wasn't going to go anywhere. You know what I mean? Like sex would be good, it would be fine, it was fun, it was great, but I always knew like this isn't gonna end well. You know what I mean? Like you're either gonna catch me with a guy, or I'm gonna just be miserable, and we go and start a family, whatever the case may be. So the most recent one was this beautiful, lovely young lady named Dina, the love of my life. I love this girl with all my heart. She has a daughter, and that's what really drove me to be honest with myself, because it's like I can break the girl's heart, no problem, but now
Right.
she has a child. I can't risk this little girl being brokenhearted for no reason. She's an innocent bystander. So thankfully Dina was able to, she understood my situation, and she hated me for a little bit, but it's fine. Like, she got over it. But that's really when I realized, like, how long are you gonna do this for, dog? Like, how long are you gonna be, how long are you gonna be in the closet? How long are you gonna hide? So I came out the pockets of people, throughout the years, but like June 30th, 2019 was the day that I decided, you know what? Let's type up this letter. Let's just fucking own it, put it out there, and like whoever's still rocking with me, rocking with me. If not, like, fuck them.
Dude, I fucking love that. I love that. For real. That's fucking, whew. That's, I don't even know if manly's the right pronoun to use here, but that's fucking like stand up, manly, fucking hardcore, dude. Like there's like a difference between, there really is a difference between hiding behind who you want people to see you as and being the person that you know that you are. And when you're able to grab that person that you know that you are and put them in the forefront of your whole life, whew, that is just, and I'm sure, listen, obviously you've experienced that feeling, that wave of emotion, because that's exactly what it had to be, was just a tidal wave of emotion. So at that moment, on that date, when you finally told the world, hey, this is who the fuck Anthony is, love me or leave me, did you start to have more clarity on the weight end of the spectrum of your life?
1000%.
Hell yeah.
1000%. Because like I knew, like, going into it, I always knew that like this mental health aspect of it all affected everything else, because I couldn't shake the cloudiness that was in here regarding who I was, that I couldn't focus my time and energy on eating right, or saving for the future, or focusing on school and getting done everything that I wanted to get done. So it was a big ass cloud that just prevented everything. So while I have no problem working out, I can go work out 7 days a week and be fine, but it's my diet that really, really suffered. And that's because it was like, it's easier to go out drinking with friends and then hit up Taco Bell or Wendy's on the way home. You know what I mean?
Talk
And
dirty to me.
Always,
Yes.
always.
talk, baby.
Say
Yeah.
Taco Bell one more time.
Say it
Say
slow.
Taco Bell. Say it slow for me.
Say it slow. I know it's good. But so like I'd go and I'd eat all this shit, and then ruin the progress that I had already made.
Right.
So once I decided to come out to the world, I knew, okay, like it's a free for all. Like now, like I can be authentically me, and there's no difference from the me I was yesterday and the me I am today, except that like I don't have any secrets.
Right.
You know what I mean?
That's where I was very much going in that whole line of like, when you respect yourself fully, part of that respect of like being authentically to you is like, all right, now I need to treat my body with respect, because now I'm respecting myself in this.
Well, I think that's also like your own personal reward, like you allowed yourself to put yourself on that pedestal and say, okay, here I am. And your reward now is, now you get to better the rest of your life, because you're sitting on that crutch for so long. Oh, this is not me. This is not me. This is not me. And then you go home and you're like, well, fuck, this is really fucking me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't even tell you, I can't even imagine what that teeter totter in your brain is like. But again, and I've said it multiple times so far on the show, but like the fact that you were able to get from that point A of hiding and whatnot to this, and now say, okay, Anthony, it's time to fix the rest of the package. Like, fuck balls. Like, Jesus Christ. Like, so after now coming out, right? What did you, now you said it perfectly yourself, your diet was shit. Now I personally don't like to use the word diet. To me, a diet naturally, mentally, it says, okay, this has a beginning point and end point, and I'm going to rush to that end point as quickly as possible. The way that I describe it to people is lifestyle habits, lifestyle eating. So when you break it down, and this is what I tell people, when you're looking to get on this weight loss journey, you need to put in 200%. That's 100% accountability, 80% lifestyle, aka diet, 20% working out. Working out means shit, in the grand scheme of it all. Like you just said, you could work out 7 days a week. If you're not fixing the lifestyle, you're not fixing the daily habits, nothing's going to change. So what did you do to fix the lifestyle?
Well, I had going back before I came out, I was diagnosed with a condition called diverticulosis, which is the development of pockets in the large intestine. So things that don't get digested, think peanuts, popcorn, sesame seeds, things like that, get trapped in there. It causes inflammation of that pocket. You risk it rupturing, and it causes a severe pain. So this was in 2012, and I was in my mid 20s. So I get diagnosed with it, and the doctors are all like, "You're not supposed to experience this until you're like 70. Like, this is a problem." I was bartending, so I didn't have any insurance, whatever. So that was like a $40,000 stay at the hospital for 3 days. That was fun. And then I just dealt with it for the next 6 or 7 years, having episodes every 3 months, every 3 months. And then when I went to go see a gastroenterologist, he was like, "You need to have surgery. You need to have this part of your large intestine removed, but you also need to lose weight. Like, you got to lose at least 50 pounds." And he told me that the few times that I went to go see him, because I was required to go see him after every episode. At which point I was like, you know what, I'm having another episode. I know it's just 3 days of a clear liquid diet. It'll go away. If I need antibiotics, maybe I'll go see a doctor. But then fast forward to me at the job that I'm at now with insurance. I got serious right before I came out. Was it?
Okay.
Maybe it's right after. But either way, right around the same time. So I was like, you know what? I got to lose this fucking weight so I can get the surgery. I got the insurance. There's no reason why I shouldn't be able to get this done.
Right.
So I started parking further away from where, the furthest parking spot I can find. And then I started taking the stairs everywhere as opposed to taking the elevator. And then I started packing my lunch, eating salads, and drinking a fuck ton of water. And before you know it, I lost 33 out of the 50 pounds. And that brought me down to like 250, at that point. And I went to go see the surgeon for a consultation, and he looked over my records at the hospital, and he was like, "Bro, I would have done this surgery for you back then with even another 50 pounds on top of this, because like it's that bad."
Right.
So he goes in there, he cuts it out, and then after the surgery, he tells me, he's like, "What you didn't realize was one of your pockets had ruptured, and you had developed an abscess. So like you could have poisoned yourself. Like you could have died. Thankfully, it sealed and just grew a big fucking abscess." So I was like, okay, 2019, I had my surgery. I'm feeling great. I'm like, all right, now I can go back to eating all the shit that I wasn't able to eat before. I can go back to eating peanuts and go to the movies and eat a large popcorn.
Right.
That's normal. And yeah, before I knew it, less than 6 months later, I'm back up to like 90. So the 33 pounds that I'd lost, I had gained a majority of that back plus some more. And that's when in 2020, I joined the gym that I'm at now, Fit for Life. And as far as the diet, I realized after 2 months of working out at Fit for Life that was when COVID shut down. So COVID shut us down. I gained a little bit weight back then. And then from June to September, I was working my ass off, going to the gym 4 or 5 times a week, but I was still gaining weight. So I'm like, what am I doing wrong?
Right.
Again, I needed to have that honest conversation with myself. Like, stupid, it's the fucking McDonald's and the
but I just thought if you went to the gym.
Oh my gosh. I had a cousin one time tell me that, just like, David, it's just about going to the gym. You don't have to change my nutrition. I was like, shut the fuck up.
But I'm in a caloric deficit.
Yeah, right. So, like you realize like you have to have these honest conversations with yourself to be like, okay, like I am still being my own worst enemy. So like I've cleared my mental health and I'm working on my physical health. Now I need to really focus in and dial in on that nutritional health. So fast forward to October of last year, October 10th, I'll never forget it. That's when I went to the doctor because I hurt my back, and I step on the scale and I'm 302. And I'm like, how the fuck did I get back up to 300? Like my highest recorded weight is 326. How am I, like, I'm paying a lot of money to go to this gym to gain weight? I can do this shit for free. Like, what am I doing?
I can do this for free.
Right. So, and that's when, I had heard a lot about Noom. And
I'm so excited. All right. I was wondering when it was coming. Man, I saw it on your Instagram and I'm like, oh, he does Noom. I don't know Noom. So I'm so intrigued. Go.
So October 10th hits, I realized like I got to do something about my diet. And I know as a psychology major, it like that's what attracted me to Noom. It was psychology based, habit changing, and it's real similar to like David was saying earlier, MyFitnessPal in the sense that it requires you to track your food. It helps you break your fear of the scale and the number of that scale by having you log your weight every single morning, which I love. You know what I mean? Like I'm not
That's what I do.
but I like seeing where I'm at, and I
Right.
like seeing that the trend is going down. But Noom gives you articles to read that explain different things that happen in your body, that explain why you may feel hungry or why you may be craving a sweet or something salty or anything like that. And then it gives you tips on how to curb those cravings and like
Mhm.
how to really dial in on what you're eating. So they don't tell you like anything is off the table. You like eat whatever it is you want, but
Right.
be
Track it.
mindful about what you're eating. You know what I mean? So they give you a certain amount of calories because they want you to be, they want you to have that caloric deficit. But they also give you a coach, someone that checks in with you. Hey, if you have any questions, whatever, reach out to me, which I like.
Same person every time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is cool. I haven't really needed her, because like I know what I have to do. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
Mhm.
if you reach out to me, I'll reach back. But like I don't need to sit down and have you ask me. So what do you think you could do different? Like I
Right.
know what I need to do. Like just
Right.
let me do my thing, and I can show you better than I can tell you that I can get this done. But I still love Noom because it really helped me dial in on my nutrition. So, and I've lost 10 pounds consistently since October, so I'm down 38 total now since then. So I'm right on point with where I need to be. But
Okay.
That's
the
awesome.
difference between Weight Watchers and Noom for me was Noom doesn't really have the community aspect, and I tried Weight Watchers a while ago and I didn't like it. But I am a big believer in things happening exactly when they're supposed to. So
Yes.
I started Noom in October and I was able to lose weight over the holidays, which I'm very proud of because that was always a struggling, point for me. And then I decided to create this whole gut muscle CEO thing to hold myself accountable. And the first couple of people I meet all have this same 3 letters popping up. It's all this ALG shit. You know what I mean? So I'm like,
This ALG shit.
okay, let me see what this is about. You know what I mean? So
Right.
I feel like I'm getting everything that these apps have to offer in different spots. So I'm getting the nutrition stuff from Noom, tracking it via MyFitnessPal, and the community aspect that the Weight Watchers has, I'm getting from you guys.
Yeah.
So it's like I
I love it.
David,
'cause,
are we the large soda or the fry in the combo here? I can't tell.
we're the ketchup.
Oh, okay.
Because we go over everything. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, that was good. That might be the wittiest thing you've said.
Speaking of witty things, oh my gosh, a intuitive eater nutritionist zealot on TikTok was talking shit about Noom, and I'm like, shut the fuck up. I don't even know what Noom is, but just shut the fuck up.
I mean, like, there's no difference between like if you use free weights or you use machines. It doesn't matter so long as you're getting the results that you're looking for. Like,
Yeah.
Right.
whether you use a pen or a pencil, whatever your tool is, if you're getting results, it's working for you. Congratulations.
If you're not doing 8 reps, your muscle doesn't understand.
Yeah.
If you do 12, if you do more than 20 reps, it's burning fat. If you do less than 6, you really think there's a fucking pedometer with your pec muscles? No, there's no fucking difference. It's pushing the muscle to failure, yes, but yeah, your pec muscle has a pedometer. Like,
So
yeah.
How did you find this program?
Noom?
Yeah.
I had seen actually Dina, the young lady I was speaking about earlier, she had told me about it beforehand, but like again, like I just wasn't ready. You can be told what to do left and right until you're
Right.
Truth.
You're ready.
Now this is a monthly subscription fee. Like, is this like top tier MyFitnessPal, where you pay to have access to the macros and everything like that?
Kinda, because like
Yeah.
it's like you either pay monthly or you don't. You know what I mean? So it's not like a
Okay.
thing,
Yeah. Yeah.
but they offer you like the free tracking and you just don't get the articles or the coaching or anything like
Okay.
that,
Okay. Cool. Cool. Cool.
which I love. But working out and right now, okay, so my focus now in nutrition is counting my macros and learning how to fuel my body, because while Noom can tell me like just stay under this amount of calories,
Mhm.
with me being as active as I have been and working out 7 days a week, I need to fuel my body so that my body doesn't go into starvation and say, I need to hold on to everything that you're giving me because you're not giving me enough.
Mhm.
So kind of beat that plateau. So that's where I'm
So
at.
That's
does
awesome.
Noom do macros or just calories?
It's just calories. But the
Okay.
good thing is that like when I log into my Fitness Pal, it shoots straight over to Noom.
Oh, okay.
Oh, they're tag teaming. Are they tag teaming? Are they like
I don't think
partners?
tag team.
No, I think they probably can connect, but they're probably not
It's like you
partners.
connect your Apple Watch. So like
Oh, okay. All right. Got it. Cool. No, that's dope.
All right, I got to know, what are your macros? Tell me.
so I have like 3,011 calories
Okay.
total, and then 333 grams of carbohydrates. Hold on one second. I gotta pull it up. I am not prepared. I was not prepared for this question, just so you know.
Thing with David is you have to just be prepared. Just
Be prepared for anything.
Yeah, for
Questions.
anything. It's
Questions.
crazy.
things- Wow.
I wrote everything down but this. Like
Yep. See, you fucked up. That's it.
Exactly. Just
So-
anticipate. You'll never be able to anticipate me.
75 grams of fat and 251 grams of protein.
250, baby. I love it. That's where I like to see that protein at.
I'm
But
getting
that's so much protein. I don't give a fuck. Eat it.
So fit for life. Where you working out? That's a CrossFit hit. What is it?
hit gym.
Okay, cool. That's very dope.
Yeet.
Yeah, so like again, like I had been paying. We talked about this a couple of weeks ago. I was like, one of my first goals was to cancel Planet Fitness because
Yes. Yes, that was a great conversation.
Offended.
That's hilarious. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like Planet Fitness is great if you know what the fuck you're doing. You know what I mean? Like I have no idea what I'm doing when I go to the gym, and again, it's really uncomfortable for me because I haven't completely lost my weight and I don't look like I know what I'm doing. So I don't like sharing machines or like waiting for the next guy, or you do your set and I'll do mine and then you'll put your weight back on. Like I hate that shit.
Yeah.
I need someone yelling at me or telling me what to do.
Me too, bro.
So it's the hit classes work for me.
See, that's so funny because I love just being my own little world.
Nope. I was in my own little world for so long. I ended up at 510 pounds. So
Yeah, I'm the guy who grunts and yells at myself in Planet Fitness until they yell at me.
Oh no, I grunt and I yell. I talk hella shit every class. They push me for it, so no complaints there. They allow me, they embrace my crazy. So I love them for that.
no, that's awesome. So you have really you ran the gambit here, man. Like weight loss aside, which that's why I really loved having you on, man, because your story is just so much deeper than weight loss. Like when I see you, I just feel like this whole weight loss journey thing for you, it's very big, it's very important, but in the grand scheme of things, this is going to be just such a little footnote in the story of Anthony. You know what I mean? Like you get it. You do. You really get it. You get what you have to do. You know that you know the path of getting there, and you've overcome this battle within yourself that was holding you back from even taking the first step. So like now the potential, the expectations, everything is just off the charts, you know? So what do you have in store next? Like what do you want to take a crack at?
I definitely want to hit. I want to try a Spartan race. I want to hit an OCR.
Let's do it, baby. You let me know.
I want to do one so bad, man. Like, unfortunately, COVID hit at the wrong time because like it fucked everything up. Like everything that I had been working so hard to get up to, it like fucked all. It's like, oh, you just came out of the closet? Cool, go hang out in the living room, stupid.
You can't meet nobody.
Right, stupid ass. Sit your ass down somewhere. And then like going to the gym, like, all right, I'm going to the gym hardcore. Like, nope, you're gonna sit your ass home and try and do it virtually. And I'm like, come on, guys. But I worked it out. But yeah, I definitely want to try an OCR race. And who knows? Like once I lose the weight, I'll see what shape my body's in. And I think this is one of the first conversations I had with David. I had reached out to him on Instagram of like, can I ask you a personal question? And I asked him about, his skin removal and all that. Because if it's my reality, okay, cool. I'll deal with it when I get there. It's either something I'm gonna want to have, something I'm gonna need to have, depending on rashes or whatever the case may be, or it's gonna be something I'm gonna, enjoy. Like these are my scars, these are my battle wounds, and I'm proud to show them. You know what I mean? So, I'll cross that bridge when I get there.
But I love that because there's a lot of people out there that have sent that same DM that you said that you sent, and they'll get the response about the skin removal and whatnot. And that one response will stop them.
Mhm.
Like that one little thing. The fact that you have that mental toughness to yeah, okay, I get it. Like this is what's on the flip of the coin here, but extra skin or growing more and more into morbid obesity. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like,
live past 45.
yeah,
Excess flabby skin. Live past
and
45.
this isn't coming at anybody, because like there could be someone on here listening that hasn't started their weight loss journey at all, and they're in that same spot that we're talking about now, and they've shot that DM, and that DM response that they got back kind of took them off that path. Come back. Like if that's you, please come back. Like don't let skin hold you back from following what you need to do. Like skin is nothing in the long run. Yeah, is it going to cost you money? Yes, if you decide to go that route. But just like Anthony said, you could be a person that never ever gets skin surgery. Look at Obese to Beast. A lot of people love Obese to Beast. I think John is an awesome guy. He has chosen and he speaks passionately about never having skin surgery, which all the power to him.
Kudos to you.
Yeah, that's awesome. Me, originally never thought I was going to have the skin surgery done, and then I had a shit ton of rashes. I couldn't deal with it anymore, and that was it. And then I dealt with it. I figured out how to get it done, and I got it done. And I'm scheduling to do more. Like it just happens. And just like losing weight, the journey itself is not one size fits all.
Mhm.
There's so many ways to approach this. So many different ways.
Health and happiness has to be the foundation.
And yeah, always.
But
Always.
the whole point about that is health and happiness has such a balance to it. Like health doesn't mean six-pack abs.
Right.
Happiness doesn't necessarily mean six-pack abs.
No.
And so but health should be. And does that mean 20 extra pounds of excess skin and all that stuff? Sure, that's fine. You want to eat some Taco Bell once a week and keep that extra little flat? Fine. That's not, you can get away with that. Now, 150 pounds of flabbiness, we got to talk here.
Right.
That's your health. You may be happy,
right? But
you're
I
not
know
healthy.
it's comfortable. I know there's some.
Right. Exactly. Anthony, first of all, thank you for being on today. And thank you for being so open. I think that this blew my expectations as far as a conversation goes. If I could be blunt and frank, I think a lot of people are going to take a lot from this, and your story is literally still being written. And I am going to invite you back on, the podcast again. Me and David are going to love to have you on again. But before we wrap up this one, yes, David.
Can I do the questions?
Oh yeah, sure. Yes. Absolutely. Wow.
Because it just popped up and I have an idea.
Oh, he's going to change the question.
I'm going to change the
he
questions.
approached this with, can I ask the questions? And then goes,
Yep.
I'm going to change the question.
I was
You ready for
prepared
this?
for questions that have been asked on every single episode.
Yes.
They're not the curveballs I was expecting. But let's
All
go.
right. Because you're in the middle of your journey. You're in the first you're the first 35 pounds, 40 pounds, which is fantastic. Give me 3 pieces of advice that you would tell your future self now.
Future self. I would. Okay. So I would tell my younger self. Wait.
No, your future.
Oh no, future self.
Future self.
Hey man.
So I'm speaking you into existence here. Come on.
It's gonna be worth it. Piece of advice. Fuck, man, this is difficult. Like for my future self. Hey man, I'm proud of you for getting this done.
Okay.
It was worth every single tear. Happiness is not something that you can buy. So I'm glad you had this passion for what you do, passion to be creative, because that's always going to be there for you. Money's going to come and go, jobs are going to come and go, friends and lovers are going to come and go, but your creativity and your passion is yours and all yours. I
love that. That was good. I love that. But okay. now I need to know my questions. Okay. All right, Dave, I'm really proud of you because I'm really impressed about that question. But now for the real questions, okay? Yeah. Anthony, if you could go back in time and you could speak to 8th grade Anthony, who was smoking weed, hiding who he is, and just dealing with a lot of Taco Bell, what would you tell him?
Man, own who you are, and you will avoid a lot of heartache and unnecessary strife. I've heard a lot of people answer this question and be like, "Oh, I wouldn't tell them anything, or I wouldn't change anything because my journey has led me to this point." And I agree with that to a certain extent, but I went through a lot of hell unnecessarily, and it was part of my journey, and it's helped me develop that mental toughness that has got me to this point. But man, like who knows what the possibilities would be had you owned that earlier. So that's one thing I would tell them. Second thing is keep up, never let go of what you're passionate about. Like do that until the day you die, and also don't be the catalyst for your own death. So tighten up on your eating and your recreational activities. Take control of everything you can be now.
I love that. That was from the heart, and I really love that a lot. Before we wrap up, we do have one more question for you, Anthony. 3 solid pieces of advice. They don't have to specifically be about weight loss for the people listening at home.
Find something to be passionate about. It doesn't have to make you money. If it's a hobby, just let it be what it is, but it will stimulate your mind enough to kind of keep you out of a dark place. Be open and honest about who you are and living authentically, and don't be afraid to reach out when you feel like the world is coming in crashing down on you.
Amazing. Anthony, where can we find you? And most importantly, where can people listen to your music?
Oh, okay. So like all my music is on SoundCloud, but like the best of my music can be found on Spotify and on iTunes, Google Music, Pandora, that whole stuff. And I'm all Anthony Changes. So Anthony Changes on all the social media. Gut Muscle CEO though is my Instagram that it's documenting strictly my my journey on health, wealth, and nutrition. You know what I mean? So,
Love it, dude.
Anthony
Th-
Changes.
Anthony, I want to thank you again for coming on. This story is going to inspire a lot of people. It's going to help change a lot of lives. So thank you for sharing it with us. I can't wait to see what the future has for you. And thank you for being such a positive light in the ALG community call every Wednesday. Guys, before we wrap up, I want to thank everyone for taking time out and listening to today's episode. Please rate and review the podcast wherever you listen to it. Share it with a friend. Those rates and reviews mean more than you know, so we appreciate it on this side. You can join us each and every Wednesday night at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the absolute free ALG community call. We're accepting new members literally every day, and we would love to meet you. I think that's really it. I'm John Arpino. That's Fit David D Rock, whatever his name is today. What's your name today?
John Stamos.
Oh, okay. And that's John Stamos.
Oh, wow.
And
he picks a guy that can grow facial hair. I love it.
Don't you love it? But he says he doesn't want facial hair. Anyway, that's a great way to end the podcast. Thank you guys for joining us today. Stay beautiful, stay sexy, stay accountable.
Screw you guys. I'm going home.